Typical installation techniques for shielded cable in conduit sealing fittings in Class 1, Division 1 locations include double sealing. Double sealing involves sealing the cable sheath and armor using approved sealing fittings or compounds at the conduit entry point and within the enclosure, ensuring a continuous vapor-tight barrier. Exothermic welding is another technique. With exothermic welding, the cable armor is welded to a grounding lug or bonding bushing within the enclosure to create a gas-tight seal. Approved means for cable sealing without removing the jacket or separating conductors include certified sealing fittings. Certified sealing fittings are fittings that have been tested and certified by a recognized testing laboratory to prevent the passage of gases or vapors when installed according to manufacturer's instructions. Compounds and sealants are also an option. Flexible compounds or sealants are applied to the cable and sealing fitting to form a gas-tight seal. These typically consist of epoxy, polyurethane, or other approved materials. Determining a cable's ability to transmit gases or vapors depends on several factors. Firstly, the type of insulation used in the cable is crucial. Many plastics and rubber materials are not gas-tight and can allow gases to permeate through them. Secondly, the presence of voids or defects in the insulation or jacket can affect gas transmission. Thirdly, the length of the cable run matters. Longer cables have a greater potential for gas transmission. Treatment of different cable types varies. 3-conductor power cables are typically treated as a single conductor and sealed using double sealing techniques. For twisted pair shielded cables, the shielding can act as a vapor barrier, but it must be properly grounded to prevent static buildup and potential sparking. Double sealing techniques or certified sealing fittings should be used. The choice of installation technique depends on the specific cable and fitting used, as well as the environmental conditions. Always refer to the manufacturer's instructions and code requirements for proper installation. Regular inspection and maintenance are crucial to ensure the integrity of the seal over time. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, provides guidelines for electrical installations in hazardous locations. Article 500 addresses the classification of locations, while Article 501 specifically covers Class 1 locations. Division 1 locations are those where ignitable concentrations of flammable gases, vapors, or liquids can exist under normal operating conditions. Proper sealing of conduit and cable entries is essential to prevent the propagation of explosions from within the enclosure to the surrounding atmosphere. Conduit sealing fittings are designed to create a barrier that restricts the passage of gases, vapors, and flames. These fittings are typically filled with a sealing compound that hardens to form a solid plug. The sealing compound must be compatible with the cable insulation and the environmental conditions. Shielded cables are often used in hazardous locations to minimize electrical noise and interference. The shield is typically a metallic braid or foil that surrounds the conductors. The shield must be properly grounded to prevent static buildup and potential sparking. When installing shielded cable in a Class 1, Division 1 location, it is important to ensure that the shield is also sealed to prevent the ingress of gases and vapors. This can be accomplished by using a sealing fitting that is specifically designed for shielded cables. These fittings typically have a compression mechanism that clamps onto the cable shield, creating a gas-tight seal. The NEC allows for the use of certain types of cables without the need to remove the cable jacket or separate the conductors within the seal, provided that the cable is sealed by an approved means within the enclosure. An approved means is typically a fitting that has been tested and certified by a recognized testing laboratory to meet the requirements of the NEC. These fittings are designed to prevent the passage of gases and vapors even when the cable jacket is not removed. Factors that determine a cable's ability to transmit gases or vapors include the type of insulation, the presence of voids or defects, and the length of the cable run. Some types of insulation are more permeable to gases and vapors than others. Cables with voids or defects in the insulation or jacket are more likely to transmit gases and vapors. Longer cables have a greater surface area for gas transmission. 3-conductor power cables are typically treated as a single conductor because the conductors are bundled together and the overall cable diameter is relatively large. Twisted pair shielded cables, on the other hand, may be treated differently because the conductors are smaller and the shield can act as a vapor barrier. However, it is still important to ensure that the shield is properly grounded and sealed to prevent static buildup and potential sparking. The installation of electrical equipment in hazardous locations requires careful attention to detail and adherence to all applicable codes and standards. Proper sealing of conduit and cable entries is essential to prevent explosions and ensure the safety of personnel and equipment. Always consult with a qualified electrical engineer or inspector to ensure that the installation meets all requirements. When selecting sealing fittings, it is important to consider the type of cable, the environmental conditions, and the specific requirements of the NEC. Choose fittings that are listed and labeled for use in Class 1, Division 1 locations. Follow the manufacturer's instructions carefully when installing the fittings. Use the correct sealing compound and ensure that it is properly mixed and applied. Inspect the completed installation to verify that all seals are gas-tight. Regular maintenance and inspection are essential to ensure the continued integrity of the seals. Check for cracks, leaks, or other signs of damage. Replace any damaged fittings immediately. Proper installation and maintenance of sealing fittings are critical for preventing explosions and ensuring the safety of electrical equipment in hazardous locations. Always follow the NEC and the manufacturer's instructions. In addition to the sealing fittings themselves, the sealing compound plays a crucial role in maintaining a gas-tight barrier. The compound must be compatible with the cable insulation and the environmental conditions. It should also be resistant to chemicals, moisture, and temperature extremes. There are several types of sealing compounds available, each with its own unique properties. Epoxy-based compounds are known for their high strength and chemical resistance. Polyurethane-based compounds are more flexible and resistant to cracking. Silicone-based compounds are resistant to high temperatures and moisture. Choose a sealing compound that is appropriate for the specific application. When mixing the sealing compound, follow the manufacturer's instructions carefully. Use the correct proportions of resin and hardener. Mix the compound thoroughly until it is a uniform color and consistency. Apply the sealing compound to the cable and the sealing fitting according to the manufacturer's instructions. Ensure that the compound fills all voids and gaps. Allow the compound to cure completely before energizing the circuit. Proper mixing and application of the sealing compound are essential for creating a gas-tight seal. Always follow the manufacturer's instructions and use the correct tools and equipment. Regular inspection and maintenance of the sealing fittings and compound are crucial for ensuring the continued integrity of the seal. Check for cracks, leaks, or other signs of damage. Replace any damaged fittings or compound immediately. In addition to the NEC, other codes and standards may also apply to the installation of electrical equipment in hazardous locations. These may include local building codes, fire codes, and insurance requirements. It is important to be familiar with all applicable codes and standards before beginning any installation work. The installation of electrical equipment in hazardous locations is a complex and specialized field. It requires a thorough understanding of the NEC, other applicable codes and standards, and the principles of explosion prevention. Always consult with a qualified electrical engineer or inspector to ensure that the installation meets all requirements. Proper installation and maintenance of electrical equipment in hazardous locations are essential for preventing explosions and ensuring the safety of personnel and equipment. Never take shortcuts or compromise on safety. The consequences of a mistake can be devastating. The NEC, specifically Article 501.15, provides detailed requirements for sealing in Class 1 locations. These requirements are designed to prevent the passage of flammable gases or vapors from one area to another. The location of seals is critical. Seals are typically required at the point where a conduit enters an enclosure that contains arcing, sparking, or high-temperature components. They are also required at the boundary between a Class 1, Division 1 location and a non-hazardous location. The type of seal required depends on the specific application. Some seals are designed to prevent the passage of gases or vapors under normal operating conditions, while others are designed to withstand the pressure of an explosion. The materials used for seals must be compatible with the chemicals present in the environment. Seals must be properly installed to be effective. This includes ensuring that the sealing compound is properly mixed and applied, and that the seal is properly tightened. Regular inspection and maintenance of seals are essential to ensure that they remain effective. Seals should be inspected for cracks, leaks, and other signs of damage. Any damaged seal should be replaced immediately. In addition to seals, other methods can be used to prevent the passage of flammable gases or vapors. These include the use of explosion-proof enclosures, intrinsically safe circuits, and purged and pressurized systems. Explosion-proof enclosures are designed to contain an explosion within the enclosure. Intrinsically safe circuits are designed to limit the amount of energy available to ignite a flammable atmosphere. Purged and pressurized systems use a clean, inert gas to keep flammable gases or vapors out of an enclosure. The selection of the appropriate method for preventing the passage of flammable gases or vapors depends on the specific application and the hazards involved. It is important to consult with a qualified electrical engineer or inspector to determine the best approach. Proper installation and maintenance of equipment in hazardous locations are essential for preventing explosions and ensuring the safety of personnel and property. A thorough understanding of the NEC and other applicable codes and standards is critical for ensuring a safe and compliant installation. Article 501.15t specifically addresses sealing requirements for cables in Class 1, Division 1 locations. This section allows for certain types of cables to be sealed without removing the cable jacket or separating the conductors within the seal, provided that the cable is sealed by an approved means within the enclosure. The intent of this provision is to simplify the installation process and reduce the risk of damage to the cable. However, it is important to understand the limitations of this provision and to ensure that the cable is properly sealed. An approved means of sealing is typically a fitting that has been tested and certified by a recognized testing laboratory to meet the requirements of the NEC. These fittings are designed to prevent the passage of gases and vapors even when the cable jacket is not removed. Fitting must be properly installed according to the manufacturer's instructions. The cable must be properly supported and secured to prevent strain on the seal. The sealing compound must be compatible with the cable insulation and the environmental conditions. The insulation must be inspected to ensure that the seal is gas-tight. The type of cable used can also affect the sealing requirements. Some cables are designed with a gas-tight jacket that prevents the passage of gases and vapors. These cables may be sealed using a simpler fitting than cables with a non-gas-tight jacket. The manufacturer's specifications for the cable should be consulted to determine the appropriate sealing method. The length of the cable run can also affect the sealing requirements. Longer cable runs have a greater potential for gas transmission. In these cases, it may be necessary to use a more robust sealing method. The environmental conditions can also affect the sealing requirements. In areas with high humidity or corrosive atmospheres, it may be necessary to use a sealing fitting that is specifically designed for these conditions. Proper sealing of cables in Class 1, Division 1 locations is essential for preventing explosions and ensuring the safety of personnel and property. It is important to understand the NEC requirements and to follow the manufacturer's instructions carefully. Consult with a qualified electrical engineer or inspector if you have any questions. The choice of sealing method depends on several factors, including the type of cable, the length of the cable run, the environmental conditions, and the specific requirements of the NEC. There are several different types of sealing fittings available, each with its own advantages and disadvantages. Some sealing fittings are designed for use with specific types of cables, while others are more versatile. Some sealing fittings are easier to install than others. Some sealing fittings are more expensive than others. It is important to choose a sealing fitting that is appropriate for the specific application. The manufacturer's specifications for the sealing fitting should be consulted to determine the appropriate installation procedures. The sealing fitting should be properly installed according to the manufacturer's instructions. The cable should be properly supported and secured to prevent strain on the seal. The sealing compound should be compatible with the cable insulation and the environmental conditions. The installation should be inspected to ensure that the seal is gas tight. Regular inspection and maintenance of ceiling fittings are essential to ensure that they remain effective. Ceiling fittings should be inspected for cracks, leaks, and other signs of damage. Any damaged ceiling fitting should be replaced immediately. Proper sealing of cables in Class 1, Division 1 locations is a critical safety measure. It is important to take the time to understand the requirements and to follow the proper installation procedures. A well-sealed cable entry will prevent the migration of flammable gases and vapors, reducing the risk of explosion and protecting personnel and equipment. In addition to the physical barrier created by the ceiling fitting and compound, proper grounding and bonding are also essential for electrical safety in hazardous locations. Grounding provides a path for fault current to flow back to the source, tripping the circuit breaker and preventing electrical shock. Bonding connects all metallic parts of the electrical system together, creating a low impedance path for fault current. Proper grounding and bonding can help to reduce the risk of ignition in a hazardous location. All grounding and bonding connections should be made in accordance with the NEC. The grounding conductor should be sized according to the NEC. The grounding conductor should be connected to a grounding electrode system. All metallic parts of the electrical system should be bonded together using bonding jumpers. Bonding jumpers should be sized according to the NEC. All grounding and bonding connections should be inspected regularly to ensure that they are tight and corrosion-free. Proper grounding and bonding are essential for electrical safety in all locations, but they are particularly important in hazardous locations. By following the NEC requirements and taking the time to do the job right, you can help to prevent electrical shock and reduce the risk of ignition. The selection of electrical equipment for hazardous locations is a critical decision that should be made by a qualified electrical engineer or inspector. The equipment must be designed and tested to meet the requirements of the NEC. The equipment must be marked with the appropriate class, division, and group designation. The equipment must be installed in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions. The equipment must be maintained in good working order. Never use equipment that is not designed for use in hazardous locations. Never modify equipment without the approval of the manufacturer. Never operate equipment that is damaged or in need of repair. Proper selection and installation of electrical equipment are essential for preventing explosions and ensuring the safety of personnel and property. By following the NEC requirements and taking the time to do the job right, you can help to create a safe and productive work environment.